The state of Midland is made possible with support from West Texas National Bank.
My name is Evan Thomas, and it's my honor to serve as the President and CEO of the Midland Chamber. And we're excited to welcome you all today to our annual State of Midland Luncheon. Today's invocation will be offered by L.V. Brown, co-pastor of Common Unity Church. And so if you will please stand and join us if you're able.
Well, good morning. It is a blessing and a privilege to be here. This morning as I was thinking about how so many people all over the world would love to claim citizenship here in America, and that is us. And also, when you think about all the people coming from all of the states and flocking into the great state of Texas, we're already here. And then just at home here in Midland, the epicenter of prosperity and blessing. It is a privilege and a blessing just to be here. Would you join me in just giving God a hand clap of thankfulness for just all that we have? Amen, amen. All right. Well, I'm not here to preach. Let's pray together. Most benevolent and merciful Father, we thank you today for all of your grace, love, and mercy. We pray that as we would have this time together, that you would be in our midst and that you would just give clarity of vision and that we would all be able to see, Lord, where you and grace is leading us in the coming time ahead. We do pray even now for just our president, our governor, our mayor who is with us. We pray for all of our elected officials, for our first responders. We just ask, God, that your grace would be upon each and every one of their lives that serve and give to just our city and to our nation. We ask, Lord, even as the great apostle John, he prayed in his third epistle. He said, "Beloved, I pray that you would prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers." And so, Father, we pray that our prosperity would not be in just our bank accounts, but our life accounts, and that in every measure and way, your favor and blessings would just be upon us, even in this time. We thank you. We pray now for the food. Let this food be strength and nourishment to our bodies, that we might grow and do your will. We also make a special prayer for rain. Lord, we ask in this season that an abundance of rain would even come to our city and that it would even max out even former years. Lord, let them just be just a great season of rain and abundance upon us. We thank you, we bless you in all things. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Brown. I think you may have let some preaching sneak in there, and that's okay by us. Well, everybody, welcome again. The State of Midland is our annual signature luncheon where we come together and look inward. We discuss our current state of affairs, celebrate achievements, acknowledge our challenges, and we envision a stronger Midland, a stronger future together. We're excited to once again have Mayor Blong with us today to provide a wonderful keynote and some insight into the incredible work that's being done by the City of Midland, and also the countless individuals and businesses and organizations that work along with it. And before we get to that, we do want to acknowledge something that is very clear in this room. Midland is special. Midland is very special, and there is something happening in Midland. We see it every day. We have so much good news to share, and we're just very appreciative of that. Our citizens are turning bold ideas into reality, efforts that didn't just begin overnight. It has taken dedication, vision, and hard work to get here. Later in the program, we'll hear from a panel of community leaders that will explore just a few of the many stories that embody our community's upward trajectory. There is undeniable momentum in our city, and I hope you all feel as energized as we do here at the Midland Chamber. Now, it is my absolute pleasure to welcome our chairman of the board, Melissa Wicker, to the stage. There she is. Melissa has been a dedicated leader serving on our board for over a decade, so please join me in giving her a warm welcome.
Well, good morning. I'm so excited to be here, and thank you, Evan. Thank you for that great introduction. It has been an honor to serve the Midland Chamber of Commerce for so many years, and I am so humbled to do so as the board chairman. As a Midlander, I am excited about the direction of our community. It is such a special time in Midland, and I know today's program is going to be just a little glimpse of what is happening in our city. I want to take a moment to express our gratitude for our presenting sponsor, West Texas National Bank. For many years, they have been a steadfast supporter of our chamber and our community. We're honored to have their partnership in this event and honored to have their president, CEO, Chris Wiggum. Thank you, Chris. Before we continue, I'd like to take a moment to recognize and thank the dignitaries and elected officials who have joined us today. We appreciate the leadership and dedication of these representatives. We appreciate City of Midland, Midland County, Midland Memorial Hospital, Midland College, Midland ISD. If you're an elected official with one of these organizations, please stand and be recognized. For this year's State of Midland, we are proud to partner with Basin PBS to bring these important discussions to a wider audience. The conversations happening here today will be broadcast across the region on Basin PBS, ensuring more members of our community have access to this vital information. Later in the program, we're excited to welcome a panel of outstanding community-driven individuals, John Scharbauer and Jeff Beard, along with our keynote speaker, Mayor Lori Blong. Our conversation today will be moderated by my friend, Krista Escamilla, and we look forward to a meaningful and insightful discussion. However, before we get to that discussion, it is our honor to have Midland Mayor Lori Blong provide a special keynote address on some of the incredible things happening in the city of Midland. Before she joins the stage, please turn your attention to the screens.
Good morning, and thanks so much for being here. I was talking before we got started, and my friend Tim Leach said that he is waking up with exuberant excitement every day in Midland, Texas right now, and I'm so excited. I think that's something that we can all get on board with, this exuberant excitement that we have because of the growth and the changes and all of the opportunity that's taking place in Midland right now. I want to say a special thanks to our Midland Chamber of Commerce and to all the sponsors of today's event. Midland has been moving forward at a much more rapid pace than I can recall in my lifetime. And I think many of you that have been around a long time would agree. We feel that pace and that momentum. I'm excited to share that momentum with you today. But today I want us to ask a really simple but powerful question. What makes a great city? Not a good city or an acceptable city, but what makes a great city? Some might say growth or big buildings or strong financials. And yes, those things do matter. But at its core, a great city is built by people, by teams who work together, by residents who care, and by leaders who are willing to think long term. It's built by a vibrant economy, driven by innovation and smart investment, by safe and beautiful neighborhoods that reflect pride and purpose as we're developing them, and by exceptional opportunities. recreationally, culturally, and educational opportunities that make life here more than just functional. These things are the things that make life here more fulfilling, and we're working towards those. So here in Midland, we're seeing those things begin to come together, and we're just getting started. Today is about more than reflection. It's a time where we can see where we're headed next and talk about some of those things. So let's take a closer look at the progress that we've made and the vision that we're all building together. If we ask what makes a great city, the answer can't just be infrastructure and investment, although we care a lot about those things. Our great city starts with our great people, and more than that, it starts with our leadership. It takes a strong team to make a great city, and I'm proud to say that Midland has that team, starting with our city council, but continuing through our city staff and to those who make our city function. We have over 1,000 folks who give every single day to make our city function, and we're so thankful, I think all of us, for when the trash gets picked up or the small things get handled, we depend upon them to do a good job, and we're thankful for that. We don't always agree on everything, and I have come to believe that that's a good thing, that we don't always agree on everything. What unites us is a shared love for this city and a commitment to public service, a belief that Midland's best days are still ahead. And so when we disagree and we work through things, we come to better solutions than we would have come to if we just all agreed to start with. I want to take a moment to publicly thank each of my fellow city council members for their leadership, for the long hours that you really do put in. I think we have one of the most hardworking city councils that we've had in a long time, and I'm thankful for your willingness to show up and do the work week after week. Yeah. What's remarkable about this council is that 6 out of the 7 of us were either born or raised here. I don't know if you've stopped to consider that, but 6 out of 7 of us, and all 7 of us are choosing to raise our families here, to invest in our businesses and our lives here. And I think that that's really important. We grew up on these streets. We went to school here. We played in these parks. We shopped in the old Dellwood Mall and then Midland Park Mall and all of the different parts of the components of our community. We've watched this city change, and now we get to help shape its future. And that's not lost on us. All 7 of us understand and respect the importance of the job that we're called to do. We're not making decisions for some distant place. We're making them with our own hometown, with the people that we grew up with, for the people that we went to school with, that we worship with, that we are raising our families alongside. For me, growing up in Midland in the 80s and 90s, it was a special time, and there was a strong sense of community. We were pulling through some hard times in some of those years as a community and as an industry, but there were a lot of things that were missing. We didn't have the kind of parks and trails that we enjoy in Midland today. Cultural and recreational opportunities were somewhat limited, and often entertainment meant going somewhere out of town. But today, things are beginning to really look different. We've made real progress. We've built new amenities, and we're investing in our infrastructure. We've raised the bar for what families can expect from the city of Midland. But none of that happened by accident. It happened because of leadership, because of a team effort, and because of people who love this city and who chose to step up. And many of you, not just these elected officials, but many of you are people just such as that who are choosing to step up and serve in your own places. That's what this moment is about, working together to honor where we've come from and working even harder to build the Midland that we know is possible. A great city can't just be great without a vibrant economy. And Midland's economy is not just strong, and we enjoy that largely because of our industry, because of oil and gas, but we are also punching well above our weight. Midland may not be one of the largest cities in Texas by population, but when it comes to our performance, we're right at the top. In fact, Midland now ranks 5th in gross domestic product in the entire state of Texas. You may not be aware of that. We're only Dallas, Austin, Houston, and San Antonio are ahead of us in GDP. Let that sink in. We're ahead of every other city in Texas outside of the major metropolitan areas in economic output, despite having a fraction of the population. And some of us are probably tired. We feel that, right? We're working hard to be able to have the GDP that we have right now. We're thankful for that. But why does that matter? It matters because a robust economy is able to fund our priorities, whether that's a city initiative or a county initiative or any of our other taxing entities or even the private investments. Our robust economy is allowing us to make some of the investments back into our community today that we couldn't make when we were kids growing up here. People are beginning to take notice of that. Midland was recently named one of the top 5 best performing cities in the nation. We're ranked number 1 on Heartland Forward's list of most dynamic metropolitans for 2024. We've been recognized as one of the best small cities for business and one of the fastest growing counties in the US, and our unemployment rate is now at 3.2, which is still the lowest in the state. That didn't happen by accident. It's a result of strategic decisions, a business-friendly climate, and private sector leadership. A city government that understands how to support growth without getting in the way of it. And that's one of the things that I hear repeatedly. We want the city to support what we're doing here, not hinder it, and we're working hard to that. So for those of you who already know what Midland is capable of, we say thank you. And to those who haven't noticed yet, we're going to keep reminding you. Midland is proving that you don't have to be the biggest to be the boldest, and that's exactly the kind of momentum that we are planning to build on. I think we can all agree that the Costco announcement was one of the most memorable announcements that we've made in a long time. And judging by the reaction then and the reaction now, that excitement has not faded one bit. Midland asked for it, and we've delivered it. Costco was the number 1 most requested amenity from our community. And later this summer, yes, this summer, we're going to be walking through the doors of the largest Costco in the state of Texas, right here in Midland. This is a 174,000 square foot facility representing $50 million of capital investment and bringing over 100 full-time jobs, creating a major economic anchor for a brand new commercial corridor along Highway 191. This is about more than just a store, it's about keeping our dollars in Midland. One of the things as we were talking to them, they told us we have more card holders per capita here than they see in most other areas, and we don't even have a Costco store. And so we know that our community has already been spending dollars at Costco. Now we're excited to capture those right here in our own economy. For too long, people had to leave town to shop, to spend money in other communities that should have stayed here. And so now we're going to be supporting our tax base and fueling our future growth. The project proves what happens when vision, public-private collaboration, and a responsive city government come together. It's a win-win for the community, it's a win-win for my convenience for shopping for 3 growing children, and it's a win-win for the quality of life that we're all going to get to enjoy. And so again, this is just one example of how Midland is punching above our weight. We're proving that we can compete with any city in Texas on our terms. A great city is also a safe city. And it's one that's clean, and we're working on that part, right? Picking up litter all the time. It's well maintained, and it's built with intention. In Midland, we've made real progress on this in the last year. In just the last year, our violent crime is down over 10%. That is a significant statistic that we all need to recognize and be aware of. Share it with your friends and neighbors. Violent crime down over 10% in a year. Traffic crashes are down more than 9%, and we've seen a 21.7% drop in fatal crashes just since 2021. Much of this is due to the enforcement and increased safety initiatives that have been driven by our council, that we've asked them, but really they've been carried out by our police department. That reflects not just good policy, but it also reflects the daily commitment of our police officers, of our firefighters, our traffic teams working to protect our community every single day. We've also stepped up in another important area with code enforcement. We're focusing more attention on neglected properties, both commercial and residential, with overgrown lots and with repeated violations, and we're taking real action when safety is at stake. A clear example of this was the Vaughn building. We knew that we had people that were living in that building that were not supposed to be there, and there were significant safety hazards. And so after years of complaints, we took decisive action to secure that structure. And it's a visible sign that we're serious about addressing dangerous and dilapidated buildings, not just talking about it. We know that there's still work to do on the Vaughn building. There's still work to do on other similar structures around town, but we're committed to doing that work and making sure that we're securing things. And we're not doing it alone. We're also doing it with C-Click Fix, which is an app that we've rolled out. Midland residents are stepping in as extra eyes across the city using that app, reporting issues in real time and helping us to respond faster and more efficiently and effectively. That level of community engagement is helping us to stay ahead of problems and work more proactively across departments. If you have not already done so, I would encourage you to download C-Click Fix onto your phone. It's available for Android and for Apple users. I think you need to do that today. It's really making a difference in our staff's ability to execute quickly and efficiently, and we want you to be able to be a part of that. We're also raising expectations on the front end by creating beautiful neighborhoods through our planning and development process. We've significantly revamped that in the last year, and we're pushing for better coordination on landscaping, access, traffic flow, and additional added amenities in some of our new developments, so that what is built today will also work for us tomorrow. And we're seeing this in several of the housing developments as well as the commercial developments. We're really trying to level up on what we're producing and what we're asking developers to produce in our community. So from code enforcement and building safety to traffic enforcement and neighborhood integrity, we're taking a more coordinated and more strategic approach. Safe and beautiful neighborhoods do not happen by chance. They happen with a strong plan and with strong design. We're moving forward, and I want to talk about what we're building for families and young athletes in Midland and around the greater West Texas area. We're proud to be investing in exceptional recreational, cultural, and educational opportunities. These are the kinds of things that make our city not just functional, but enjoyable, not just livable, but memorable. Let's start with Beal Park. It's a landmark project on the west side of Midland, and with over $45 million total investment to date, that's going to bring us 62 soccer fields. And this is going to allow, catch this number, 6,200 kids in our community right now are playing soccer every year. 6,200 kids. So we're making an investment in something that's already taking place around our city with those young athletes participating in soccer. This project reflects the power of public-private partnerships and when we align vision with need. And many of the partners in this project are right here in this room who have seen the need and they've responded to it. And speaking of public-private partnerships, we're also proud to support the addition of the Midland Athletic Syndicate in West Midland, the Diamondback Energy Athletic Complex, which is going to be a new and privately funded sports facility. It's being built on city-owned land. And we're so proud of the folks who have led the fundraise to be able to make that happen so quickly and efficiently. This project represents a new model in collaboration where the private sector brings the vision and the capital, and the city provides the land and the partnership needed to bring it to life. It's a win-win for our residents and for the future of youth sports in Midland and the broader Permian Basin. Just across town, we recently celebrated opening the Reyes-Mashburn-Nelms Park. It's a $16 million investment that brings modern tournament-ready baseball complex to life. This park is going to serve kids and families for generations, and it's going to position Midland as a serious player in regional sports tourism. But we're not just focusing on new facilities. We're also committed to taking care of what we already have. The council has made the decision to increase annual parks maintenance budget by $2 million. Because we often say, we have all of these horses, we need to feed the horses we have, not just always buy new horses. And so our park system is only as good as our ability to care for it consistently. We're allocating the dollars to make sure that we're maintaining those facilities well. We're also pushing forward on connectivity and access through the Wildcatter Trail, which is a multimodal trail system that's going to link Midland and Odessa. We have received several grants towards this project to link Midland and Odessa. And this is not just a walking or a biking path, it truly is a regional connector, promoting healthy lifestyle and safe transportation alternatives and a greater sense of shared space between Midland and Odessa. We're going to begin to see that being developed in the next year. Every one of these projects reflects a shared vision to make Midland a city where opportunity exists not just in the workplace, but in our parks, our sports fields, and our public spaces. When we invest where people gather, we invest in connection, in health, and in long-term community pride. And we're so thankful to have a hand in that right now. What you're looking at here is a view of the newly opened Reyes-Mashburn-Nelms Park. If you haven't had a chance to visit it yet, and this may not be one that many of you frequent, but I would really encourage you to go and see it for yourself. Walk the fields and take in the layout and see what's possible when we invest in quality purpose-built spaces for Midland families and we build them to last. But more than that, this project represents something bigger. It's setting a new standard. This is now the benchmark for how we approach parks and recreation in Midland. Thoughtful design, high standards, and spaces that reflect pride in our community for this city. Great cities also aren't just built with concrete and grass, and we know that. They're built with experiences, the kind of experiences that bring people together, that activate our public spaces, and give us all a reason to gather and to celebrate. And so that's exactly what we're doing with our growing calendar of events and downtown programming. Every city must have reliable utilities, and that starts with water. This was planned to talk about before we had the issues a couple weeks ago. So that makes it a little bit more poignant. The truth is we fell short of that standard just a few weeks ago, and we know that. And more importantly, we own it. We own the problems that we're facing. But I need you to know, in Midland, none of our water comes from within Midland County. I don't know if you're aware of that, but we don't have water inside of our county to support our population. It takes a complex system and a network of infrastructure to get our water here. For a city that's growing, and for neighborhoods that are expanding, for residents and businesses who depend on us, reliable water infrastructure is a non-negotiable. It is quite literally one of the most essential parts of being able to live here. And so when it fails, everything in Midland feels uncertain, whether that's dropping your kids off at daycare or at school, or being able to go to work and trust that you have what you need. That breaks down the certainty of life here. And so we understand, and we're not making excuses. We're taking responsibility. And more importantly, we're enacting solutions right now so that we can ensure that these problems don't persist into the future. The map that is in front of you shows a complex system that makes up our Midland's water capacity, from our T-bar pipeline to our CRMWD supply, to the treatment and storage facilities across the city. You can see that it's not simple, and this is actually a much simplified version. If you had to look at all of the thousands of valves and pipelines that run through our city to make this all work, the potential points of failure are more than you can probably wrap your mind around. And so we're looking at that. We're looking at how we can do that and make sure that we have serious planning to make it work properly. We've assessed these issues. We're investing in our infrastructure and technology, and we're investing in personnel to shore up the weak points that we've identified and to increase our reliability. And we're making sure that this system doesn't just work for today, but it works for future generations of Midlanders to come. City leaders in the past had the great foresight to plan for our water system for the future, and we benefit from that today. The council and I know the gift that that is, and we're committed to ensuring that future generations of Midlanders can also benefit from our foresight, and we're putting a lot of effort into that today. We can't build a great city without getting the basics right, and we're committed to doing exactly that. So speaking of the basics, let's talk about something that every resident relies on, roads and infrastructure. And you've heard me talk about orange cone fatigue before. We probably all still feel that we have some orange cone fatigue, but we cannot quit repairing and reinforcing the existing roadways and planning for future development of our rapidly growing community. You can't have a great city without a strong foundation, and that includes safe and functional streets, modern drainage systems, and connected corridors that support how we live and work and move and grow. For too long, Midland was stuck in catch-up mode, dealing with the consequences of delayed maintenance and underinvestment. The 2017 road bond was designed to fix that, and we're thankful for the visionary leadership at that time that brought that forward. It did begin to fix that, and I'm proud to share that the bond program will be completed this year, and yes, that includes the long overdue Garfield. So we're looking forward to having that done, yes. As the First Baptist pastor claps the loudest in the room. But now the focus has shifted. We're not just catching up anymore, we're planning ahead. And we're investing in a road and drainage network that works for where Midland is going, not just where Midland has been. In this year alone, we're putting $64 million into roadways and infrastructure improvements, real funded projects that improve safety, capacity, and flow across our city. If you think about the $100 million road bond, critically important to existing roadways, $64 million more invested just in this year to be able to advance us even further ahead. And those include strategic projects like the Wadley extension at Highway 158, the Mockingbird Lane extension connecting the west side neighborhoods and relieving pressure on existing arterials, the Briarwood reconstruction and widening, further addressing heavy traffic volumes in one of the highest growth areas, the Fairground Road extension to the north, supporting long-term residential and industrial growth, and also the Occidental Parkway extension, which is a major east-west connector in far north Midland that's going to be led by Midland County. We're so thankful for their partnership to improve access across the region. This is what smart regional planning looks like. Partnerships with Midland County, with TxDOT, with the Midland Development Corporation, and with private developers all working towards a shared goal. And we truly are working together with Odessa and all of our regional stakeholders to make sure that these things are working well. Because infrastructure does not stop at the city line, and neither does our vision. We're no longer reacting, We're designing a system that grows with us, that supports new development and ensures that Midland stays connected, efficient, and ready for the future. Because a great city doesn't just fix potholes. A great city plans for people, and that's exactly what we're doing today in Midland. Building with purpose also means knowing where you're headed and having a real plan to get there. A strategic plan was a huge priority for our council, and so we put that into place and really made sure in late 2023 that we hit the ground running in 2024 with this strategic plan. We're not operating off of guesswork or gut instinct or whoever is yelling the loudest in the community. We are following a clearly defined strategic plan built by this council and shaped by community priorities and the feedback that we received from voters and from people around the community. This plan is more than just a document. It's a roadmap that guides our decisions, it guides our budget, and it guides our daily work. It's the matrix through which we run our decision-making processes at a council level and at a city staff level. It's focused on 6 strategic goals that define the kind of city that we're working to build. And everything that we've talked about today, from roads and utilities to recreation, safety, and private investment, ties back to this plan. It gives us direction, it keeps us accountable, and it ensures that we're not just reacting to change, we're leading with intention. This council is aligned, we have a purpose, we have a plan, and we're executing it every single day.
We want you to be able to see and touch the tangible vision for Midland. The vision shows what's already great about Midland, what's to come, and what we see for the future. More living, more working, more playing, more for Midland, more to come. These are the things that make our great city. Vision Midland.
What you just saw was more than a preview. It's a look at the future that we're building together. This is a vision board, a website that is accessible to you, and this is a product of our strategic plan, and today is the first time that it's being made available to the public. It reflects where we're headed as a city and what we believe Midland can become. And I want you to know, this is the kind of interactive communication that we're pushing for. We want you to know what is happening in your community, and we want you to feel a part of it. The future is bright for Midland, and this vision helps to guide the way. Vision Midland also reflects the groundwork that we're laying and the direction we're heading. But we know that building a great city takes more than just vision on paper. It takes people willing to lead and invest and shape that vision into a reality. Here in Midland, the reason I bring this up is Midland is fortunate to have that same kind of vision and leadership helping to shape what is next. We have individuals who have made their money in our industry and in our community who are choosing to invest it back into our city. Some of our developments are purely private, like the Summit Center or the Midland Zoo Midland that we did the groundbreaking for yesterday, and the Preserve, where some partnerships are between the city and private investors, like the Omni Midland Hotel, for example. All of these projects are things that we need here to thrive and grow. But they're a product of people who see the vision and have a perspective for the long-term benefit of Midland. During our panel discussion in just a few minutes, we're going to talk more about some of these private investments that are propelling Midland forward. I want to point out to you, this is the Beacon is what is being called. This is out by the Wagner Noel Center and the UTPB campus. This is what is being envisioned with the behavioral health facility as one of the first expansions of what has existed out there for several years. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to drive by there. You may have had the opportunity to sit in traffic as TxDOT completes their road construction when you're on the way to the airport. But to really see what is taking place and shaping up in that area. This is a really important addition, not just to Midland, but to Odessa. And it reflects hundreds of millions of dollars of investment from our state government back into our community for the behavioral health facility, as well as some of the future developments that are to come. There's going to be some more announcements that are coming, and we can't talk about all of those details, but you need to be aware that we have a strategic group of philanthropists and community-minded individuals who are making sure that this advances well and that it will be to the benefit of our communities. And I'm so excited to get to share that with all of you when the time is right. It's clear that people with vision and commitment and purpose can change the course of a community. Midland is full of those people, people who lead, who invest, and who build with intention. People who take seriously the responsibility of shaping the future, not just for today, but for the generations of Midlanders to come. Everything we've talked about today, from infrastructure and housing, to workforce and development, to education and healthcare, demonstrates that Midland isn't standing still. We're planning ahead, we're executing with purpose, and we're moving this city forward. So what makes a great city? It's not just the size or the speed of our growth. It's not one project or one moment. A great city is built by people who care enough to lead it well, who work through the hard decisions and the hard conversations, who believe that where we're headed is worth the effort to get us there. I want to thank you for your time, for your trust, and for your shared commitment to building a great city right here in Midland. Thank you.
I cannot wait to continue this conversation with these incredible leaders. Please welcome to the stage Jeff Beard and John Scharbauer. All right, Jeff, we have had some great conversations today, just hearing everything and a fantastic groundbreaking that took place yesterday. But before we get to some of the exciting things, we've had great conversations about really changing the narrative. Who's tired of hearing there's nothing to do in Midland, or I'm going to do my 2 years time in Midland and then I'm going to move on? Has anyone heard that one before? Yeah, we're changing the narrative today, right, Jeff?
That's right.
All right, how are we going to do it? Let's change the narrative because we love Midland, Texas.
Yes, we do. I grew up in Midland, moved here from Houston. My family moved out here on purpose instead of a tour of duty, as some would call it, which I want that to go away. Midland is a destination. It already is, believe it or not. It's a destination for work. One of the things I love about Midland, especially in today's society, Midlanders know how to work. That's important. We just saw all the stats on the GDP, the fifth largest GDP in the state. That's coming from a small group of people. We do a lot more work than most people. That's awesome. And so, we're a destination during the week, and so that means weekends. The hotels, if you talk to hotel owners, they're empty. I think we're seeing a lot of projects that are going to change that, and we've got the ability to change that. If you looked 10 or 15 years ago, we didn't have enough hotels for anything, so you couldn't have a vibrant weekend life or anything here. But now we do. They were brought here because of the blessing of the oil and gas that's beneath our feet. And so there's now many hotels that people can stay in. You can build 62 soccer fields and people actually have somewhere to stay for a tournament. You can build Midland Athletic Syndicate in an indoor sports facility for volleyball and basketball, and you can have somewhere for people to stay in hotels around town. And so adding to that, the ability to have some recreation and shopping. I mean, Costco is obviously a big part of the shopping. I've honestly never stepped foot in a Costco. Yeah.
The biggest one ever is coming.
Well, I'll step in. But, the zoo is obviously a big part of what I'm a part of. And, you can look. I mean, I've talked to any number of people that are Midlanders, that are members at other zoos and other communities. And so there's a large group of people locally, but then we've done some studies on how far will people travel, where will they come, and you're talking 250, 300,000 people a year that'll come just for zoos. So add to that Midland Athletic Syndicate and what they're doing, the Beal Park soccer fields, Raish Mashmerd Elms, the new baseball facility there, and you've got a really good story on people becoming a destination. We're going to this tournament, we're going to spend an extra day, we're going to go to Costco, we're going to go to the zoo, we're going to whatever. And so I think you're going to see a change of narrative over the next several years where people are excited to be here other than just work.
Well, thank you for being a part of changing that narrative. We appreciate your family support and everything you're doing here in the community. We also appreciate your support, John. Your family's legacy and contributions to this community are something that all of us are thankful for here in Midland, Texas. Let's be honest, you could have chosen to live anywhere in the world, right?
Well, I did. I grew up a little bit in Amarillo. I was born here in Midland back in 81. Got here, shortly after. Spent my childhood up there, and went to college and moved back here. Met my wife in college, Amy.
Go Horned Frogs?
Yeah, go Frogs. And we came here really to work the ranches, and got down here in 2006, and just kind of didn't know exactly, what we were going to be doing. But I think you grow where God plants you, and that's the way we kind of feel. We got tied into a church here and met a really good group of friends and do life with them and root each other on. And yeah, I don't see us living anywhere else. I think this place, it grows on you, the people. It gets said a lot how good the people are, and I think that's the telltale. I think once people get here, it's hard to leave here. And so if we can just get people coming here, I think they'll stay here. And yeah, I mean, the roots are deep here, and I don't think our work's done. I think, there's plenty to do, and there's a lot more to grow. And I'm just happy to be a part of that and blessed to be able to do it and have the community support that we have and the people that want to, jump in and help. I mean, we've dealt a lot together. I've seen the city grow and do different things, just developing here and doing some things. So, we're rooted here. Our kids are here, and we're happy, and we can't wait to just raise them here. We got a now junior in high school. They were all born here. Where Amy was a nurse when she got here, and we got 4 kids, and it's been a joy. So yeah, Midland's unique, and it's great. And right now, there's probably not a better time to live in Midland.
I could not agree more. Let's get that narrative keep going. Yeah. Let's give a big round of applause for staying in Midland, because it truly is. It truly is a unique place, and the people are what makes it great. People like you and your families. And I know, Lori, you mentioned earlier that so many great cities and communities were really born and really were supported through the years with partnerships. Let's talk a little bit about why that's so important to you, because I think the quality of life, the Merry Lights this year was amazing, and I cannot wait to see what you do next. Tell me why that's so important that we do partner with families like Jeff's and John's.
Well, as we were planning this event, Evan Thomas at the Chamber and I and several others were having conversations about what do we want to really leave people with. And it's always been a priority for me, for Midlanders, to recognize we are this community. We are the city government. We are the school. We represent the people who live here. And so if we are not happy with some of the things that we have, it's our responsibility to plug in and to participate and be part of some of those solutions. And I'm so thankful for some of the families and guys like these guys that have already begun to contribute and to see themselves as change makers, to bring some of that benefit. Our primary place of calling really is here. And if you're here, whether you're here for 2 years or you're here for a lifetime, we are the ones who are going to make it what we want it to be. And so I'm so thankful for that. I don't want us to get bogged down and Midland is not a community that says, hey, how can government fix things for me? That's just not how Midlanders think. We think, how can we improve this and make it the way that it needs to be? I view the city's role as facilitating those things. It is not it's not my role as mayor or the city's role to be the driving force behind that. We're the facilitator. We come alongside and we help to shepherd and steward and use the resources that we have well to make that available. And thankfully, we're watching that happen. But I feel like these 2 guys needed to be up here to talk about some of the things that they're doing, not just to tell their stories, but hopefully to inspire some of you to see where you can plug in. You may not have the resources to be able to do that at the same level or in the same way, but you can do it. You can start now, and you can start where you are with what you have in contributing to improving our community. And I think we should all see our families' responsibilities here to be just exactly that.
I'm glad you said that, Lori, because let's talk about the zoo. We all saw Matt Damon. He bought a zoo. Jeff, what made you decide to do Zoo Midland? I'm so excited. Ground is broken.
It wasn't just me,
Okay.
First of all. I feel like I'm getting a lot more credit than I deserve. Growing up here, the complaint growing up was there's nothing to do. And then also a lot of...
And it was true.
True.
Lori can attest to that.
Nutty Roller and Green Acres.
Yes.
That was kind of what you could do.
Yes.
And so we were looking years ago, like, man, what could we do to have, start solving that problem? Green Acres was one of those things that you looked at and it was like, oh gosh, it needs some help. And so that was kind of, I'll call it an appetizer on, what can you do? What can that look like? That was if you're not familiar with Midland, 1953, a guy built 3 mini golf courses in the world. One in Odessa, one in Midland, one outside of Fort Worth. The one in Odessa is now a Honda Power Sports, I think, and we were worried that Green Acres would become that, and there's plenty of first dates and other memories that happened there. So that was kind of our first foray, and so the zoo came up as a part of that conversation, and honestly it was like, oh man, that's a lot to think about animals and keeping those. Golf balls are going to be easier. Let's start there. And so whenever you get into the project and you start doing it and you see how something like that, can have an impact where people are really excited about mini golf. And so it's like, okay, well, let's revisit this bigger idea, this bigger thing. Midland is a great family town, but there's never been a thing. Like when you go to Midland, you go here. Or there's maybe several things that people are excited about, like a Rockhounds game, or there's some things you can do, but there's never been a thing. And so that was kind of where that zoo idea was born. And it was also about education. I mean, you don't learn the best way to learn is to do,
right,
in my opinion. No offense to teachers, reading a book doesn't help me. I need to see it, touch it, feel it, understand it. And so that is the whole point of the zoo, is how do you interact with those animals? How do they do things? How do we interact with them? And so the whole zoo is going to be from a perspective of, call it a 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old, but also adults. And how do you interact? How do you engage? How does it fun and educational and creates an appreciation for the area and for West Texas, for Midland, and for the Permian, and Texas.
Well, we're excited. We cannot wait to see. And it's, when is the date? I think everyone wants to know, when can we expect a date to open?
Don't give completion.
Yeah, no, and I'm not giving a completion date. I'll tell you what.
It always takes more time, right?
I was getting asked a lot, when's groundbreaking? Yesterday.
Yesterday.
That's the answer for that. I finally have a good answer for somebody. We think it's going to be a 3.5-year build. We're building over 60 buildings. We've got associated habitat and infrastructure. We've got all of the beauty of the property that we're on is there's nothing in the way as far as pipelines or power lines or any of those that we have to work around. The bad part about the property is there's none of those things there, so we got to get it all there. Mm-hmm. It's over 200-acre total property size. The zoo is 52 acres of it, and so just infrastructure. I was telling somebody earlier, we're going to spend over $20 million, and you're not even going to see it. It's going to be in the ground just to get it to work. I mean, you're kind of building a city within the city, and so I don't know the timing. Hopefully 3.5 years. We've got some guys. We're already building stuff. We've got our offsite facility is about, I'll say, 50-60% constructed. Right. We do have some small animals here. We've got several greenhouses. Midland College was nice enough to donate us a greenhouse that we have now standing on our offsite facility. We'll grow all of our own lettuce for the zoo. So there's some things that are happening that are exciting, and I'm glad to see it going. But I'm very glad that we got yesterday so that now we can start physically working instead of drawing on paper. 25 people drawing on paper gets monotonous, and we've been working on it for 4 years.
Well, so. Congratulations.
Hey, Jeff, at Green Acres, can you do me a favor? Yeah. Take the governor off one of those go-karts so I can finally beat my kids. They like to put me in the wall out there.
The 3 of us could have a race.
Yeah, no.
If you want to participate.
I need to know which one's the fastest.
I'm in. I love that. Well, and John, you and I both know, and Amy and Al, the traveling of sports kids, right, with our 4 children.
That's right.
We have had to travel a lot, but you, instead of accepting the challenge, you created a solution with a lot of people, just like Jeff.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, I can't take the
it.
credit there, but it's travel. I mean, our kids are in sports, and they're all over, for whether it's baseball, volleyball. We're doing basketball, golf, things, everything. So, yeah. I mean, it all started just kind of traveling around and seeing Midland people in different cities around here, mm-hmm. and we're playing each other. And, that's kind of the way that deal kind of happened. And this younger generation kind of fired up. A text message goes out. There's a couple of us on it. And it's like, why don't we build one of these in Midland? And instead of saying ... waiting for somebody to respond, say, yeah, let's do it.
I love it.
And that's kind of the attitude that you're seeing, I think, in this generation, and what some of these Midland, kind of the younger Midland people are, they want to see Midland go forward. So this is one of these things where it came together in an amazing, it's almost like, I mean, God had a hand in it. Everything from within 2 weeks of the text message to having an architect, to 6 to 7 weeks after that having our 501c3 status. We went out and raised the money. This community was tremendous on donations. It was, I mean, within 2 phone calls, we had $16 million raised. And that's a testament to this community and what they want to see happen. And
so what will we see happen?
Well,
what kind of sport? When I think of an athletic syndicate, I don't know what that will entail.
Yeah, it all started kind of just, I mean, we were all kind of club-driven, club-minded at the time, but once we got more involved in this project, we realized this is way bigger than club sports. I mean, we're talking about a place where kids can go. We're going to open the door, an open gym, and when we say that, we mean it. No memberships, nothing like that. We're going to take care of kids, and we're modeling after a facility that was built in Abilene, the Dodge Jones Center, and ours is going to be twice as big because we need it. Regionally, we're going to pull in kids from all over the region, 115,000 square feet. 100,000 of that's going to be sports floor. That's made up of 6 basketball courts, which convert into 12 volleyball courts. And on the north end, we'll have indoor soccer. So we're going to, we'll get out of the weather for that, a big turf field. But I mean, we're rolling. If you hadn't been out by the complex, you can see dirt's moving. But yeah, it's turned into way bigger. We can host dance. We can have cheerleading, band. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. The city can host events in there. It's just, we're extremely excited. We've even hired an ED. Travorsi Jackson's down here. If you get a chance to meet him, please do. He'll tell you about it. And I mean, we already have, I think he told me yesterday, 7 volleyball tournaments scheduled for 27 and 1 basketball tournament already. So cities and people are lining up for this thing. And we can't wait to open the doors because we're busting at the seams with facilities.
Right.
I mean, and kids are playing in gyms, whether it's the boys and girls or the Y, they're there till 9 or 10 p.m. And we want to have a safe place where kids can go, and we have the courts to do it. And we're just happy to do it. We got a great board of young people that are enthusiastic and ready to get this thing going. So
Let's do it.
It's a good project, but y'all see it. I don't want to give a completion date, but it's not going. We're going to get it done as fast as we can. Let's put it that way.
I like that answer.
Yeah.
Thank you, John.
I want to add in another component of this that I think is really important. Not every family in Midland can afford to do travel sports. And we limit the number of kids that can participate in some of these activities when we only have opportunities to play on the I-35 corridor. Right. Certainly for some of Midlanders, but also for these surrounding communities that face greater poverty than we do here in town. And so what they're doing is not just for families who have kids traveling already, but it's going to give accessibility and practice space, game space, opportunity for kids who otherwise wouldn't have it. And so I want us to not lose sight of that too for all of these things. It's not just to bring people in and to keep them here, it's to give greater opportunity for all Midlanders.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much, all 3 of you, for your leadership. We're going to do something a little fun really quick. I'm going to ask you, is there any myths about the city, a zoo, or Green Acres, or ranching, or Midland Meat Company? Any myths you want to clear up today? Lori, we'll start with you.
Oh gosh, I was supposed to prepare for this and I didn't think of one. There was actually a tunnel underneath Big Spring that really does exist. That's not a myth, it's true.
Fun fact.
It's mostly filled in. We are actually working on Garfield and we are going to get it finished. That's it.
Yay! The myth is debunked. Yes, it's happening. All right, Jeff?
The zoo is a project in the city. It's not a city project. It's amazing how many people are like, oh yeah, you're city. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's totally private. It's got its own C3.
And animals, are we getting giraffes?
Yes, we will have giraffes. I can answer. I've had several interviews today, and that's, I think even in the paper today they said something about animals. I said the thing I can tell you for sure: giraffe, rhino, and lorikeets.
There you go.
Anybody know what a lorikeet is?
Lorikeet, anyone?
Bird.
Nobody.
They're cute.
Awesome.
They're cute. Becky says they're cute.
You know, a little parrot.
It's bigger than a parakeet, smaller than a parrot. Its tongue looks like a pipe cleaner, like, you know, pipe cleaners. You hold a little cup of nectar in your hand, it lands on you, and it drinks the nectar out, and then it flies away. We'll have about 80 of them. 40 of them will be hand-raised so that they'll want to land on you. The other 40 will be crazy so that they'll fly around and you'll get the full experience, because you don't want 80 of them landing.
No.
We already have those here. I'm feeding them this weekend if anybody would like to come with me.
Can you feed my
Thank
cow?
you.
I need a place to feed some cows. We need it to rain out here. That's one thing.
Yes, we do.
And-
Any myths or fun facts you want to tell us about
you know,
ranching, your
everything
family?
you see on Yellowstone's not real.
Really? It's not?
No.
There's
But,
not a train station?
Well,
What?
we won't talk about that, but no. But it, you know, ranching is what it is. You have less than 1% of the population feeding 99% of it between the farmers and ranchers. So anytime you can support a local farmer or rancher, I'd say do it, because that industry is not getting any easier. And with the obstacles we have, and obviously with the weather we can't control, you know, that's all I say. Kind of support those guys, and not just me. Anybody in the beef industry, the whole Texas beef. It's important, and that industry is a dying breed, and we're losing farms and ranches every year. So, anytime you can help one, do it. Farmers market, support these local farms out here that are growing produce for Midland. There's a lot of them. Flying Y Farms, and we see them all the time. So, you know, I don't know if there's any myths. It's just it's a hard job, but you know, it is what it is, and that's what we're doing. And we just appreciate the people who stop in our businesses and support them, because we try to go back and support this community with what the community does for us.
And you do it so beautifully, and we thank you. We thank all of your families and for all of you for your leadership. It truly is amazing. And Lori, I know that we can all agree here today, we love Midland. We love it.
This has been a wonderful program. We've had so many wonderful speakers and participants today. I want to thank the mayor for a wonderful keynote, mayor, that was very informative. I want to thank our panel for a very engaging and entertaining panel. You guys have done fantastic things for Midland, and I know that you'll continue to do so and inspire the rest of us to do so, doing everything that we can to make Midland the best place to live, work, and do business. With that, thank you for being here.